Hey, Naz.
Top of the morning to you, Joe.
Happy Jesus, where are we?
This
top of the morning to you.
We are on Suffolk Street in sunny Dublin.
Yep, fantastic. And what are we doing on Suffolk Street? Why have we come here?
So we are visiting somewhere called Avoca, which is a bit of a heritage site. Avoca started in the Vale of Avoca as hand weavers, and they craft all these amazing blankets and all sorts of knickknacks for tourists.
So it was a mill.
It was.
Yeah, they're making things.
And in fact, Avoca itself, as a place, was famous because that's where they filmed Ballykiss Angel. Do you remember that?
Not really, but
No?
If you say it was good, I'll believe you.
Long time ago. Anyway, so they've branched out, and now they have a couple of places in the centre of town as well. It's like a mini department store with a cafe. The food's supposed to be really, really good.
Okay. And this building, I believe, is like 300 years old, over 300 years old.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of heritage here.
Yeah.
Now, we are going for brunch. So do you know what brunch means?
Is it a combination of breakfast and lunch?
It is, and that phrase, you think that brunch is quite a new thing, but actually that's been around for over 100 years, about 150 years. And it was coined by somebody in Hunter's Weekly magazine for a Sunday. So Sunday when you've been out for maybe a few Guinnesses the night before,
very good.
Lie in bed, have a later meal. So it's not quite breakfast, it's not quite lunch. That's where brunch came from, so we're going to go and try it.
Brilliant. Right, we're going to go and see all the tourists in here. It's actually now owned by an American company.
All right, okay. Well, hopefully the brunch will be good then.
So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Let's get
See
in
you
there.
Right, Joe, so that was a bit complicated.
It's a long walk, wasn't it? I feel a bit tired after that.
It was a long
Bit
walk.
of a trek.
And it was quite complicated figuring out how the menu worked.
Yeah, it was a bit, wasn't it? Because we got in here, they gave us this menu. It was a big one, and we thought it was just all-day favourites, the Irish breakfast. It wasn't really going to be brunch-like, it was just going to be breakfast, but we didn't really read what we were looking at, did we? So it's got like this 3 different stages. So you have your base, and then you put some extras on there, and then you can have a sauce. So I've decided to go for what was recommended to me by our server, which was basically the buttermilk pancakes with maple syrup and bacon. She said that's the most popular thing, it's the best thing to get, that's what I'm going for.
Great. So I've gone for toasted sourdough with avocado and feta on top.
Well, that's quite upmarket, isn't it? Quite
It's a bit
posh.
trendy, isn't it?
Yeah, quite posh. Avocado's meant to be very good for you, though.
It is. I'll let you have a bit of my avocado.
Thank you very much.
But I want some bacon.
I'm happy to trade anytime. Great, so we put our order in. It's quite a cool, trendy place. I mean, it's on top of a store, so you sort of, it's a bit like IKEA. Oh, thank you very much. We've got our drinks. There we go, there's a coffee coming in, American coffee. Thank you very much. Cheers, thank you. Right, we've got our drinks. Yeah, you come through the store, a little bit like IKEA, isn't it? That they make you go through all the store, so you have to buy something on your way to get your food.
I think it's a bit more upmarket than IKEA.
Yeah, it's a bit less depressing than IKEA. Have you ever been to IKEA, that whole feeling when you think, get me out of IKEA?
And it's a lot more expensive. So first impressions actually on the menu, it's not the cheapest. So they do a full Irish breakfast. It's 21 euro.
Ooh, that is expensive.
So it's a bit punchy for a low-key cafe.
But the brunch isn't too expensive. That's a bit more. My pancakes were €8. Then I've got the extra of the bacon on top, which is I don't even know what it is. I can't even find it. I'll talk about it at the end. But I think for brunch, it's quite a good option. Right, so we're waiting for our food to arrive. We'll see you then. Okay, Naz, the food has now arrived. That was super quick, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it came like
really
amazingly
efficient.
quick. And yeah, look at mine. It's really interesting presentations. They've got the pancakes and the bacon and the maple syrup. Now, I like the fact that it comes in a little pot, so you can use your own discretion as to how much you want to put on there. Didn't really want it already on, soaking in. And we've got how many pieces of bacon on here? So I've got 3 very thick pieces of bacon. This is really thickly cut bacon. Oh, it's really hot. And 2 massive pancakes. So pretty impressed with the quantity of food. I have to see what the quality's like.
Looks good, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, I just moved Joe's phone off the table. That's a little nod to my wife. No phones at the table when you're eating.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what we've got here, avocado and feta on toast. It's like a generous portion of feta and avocado. The avocado looks pretty fresh, and it's Got a few chunks in there, which is nice. It's got some texture still.
And of course, it's sourdough.
It
We're
is
in Dublin.
sourdough
Everything's
toast.
sourdough.
My only observation is there's no seasoning on there. I quite like a little bit of chili flakes and
Got a bit of
bits and
salt and
pieces.
pepper here.
Yeah, let's hit it
pepper
with some salt
grinder,
and
so you can
pepper.
do a bit of that. Right, I'm gonna have a go. So I'm gonna lob a bit of this maple syrup on. Whoa, it comes out quick. So we've got a good helping of maple syrup there, and let's get into a bit of this pancake. Now, if we start off with the pancake, I'll have a look at that. So before I have it, I'll show you the pancake. It's quite thick. It's quite a thick pancake. So hopefully it'll be light and fluffy rather than heavy and doughy with this extra bit of bacon. So let's get a bit of everything and give it a try.
Generous portion there, Joe.
Gone for a big bite.
So you're mixing sweet with savoury, maple syrup and bacon all together.
Quite Americanised, isn't it?
Yeah.
The pancakes are a classic American brunch and also bacon. So what do I think? Well,
I think schoolboy Joe, if his mum had given him that for his tea, sugar and
yeah.
bacon. No.
I'd never. I mean, pancakes in my house were only on Pancake Tuesday, once a year, and ultra thin, and you'd have it generally with lemon and sugar. Never even heard of maple syrup when I was growing up. Didn't exist in our house. Maybe a bit of golden syrup. So let's talk about the pancakes first. So as I said, they are quite thick. You can see there's some reasonably thickness. They're okay. Not quite as light and fluffy as I would have liked, so a bit heavier than I would normally want. And the bacon is too thick for me. I prefer a thin bacon that gives you a sort of just a little bit of a taste. This is sort of actually quite a lot of eating, quite a lot of chewing, so I would have preferred a thinner bacon than this thick bacon, but I mean overall it's a decent flavour. Maple syrup's good, so yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit more. You crack on.
Right, so I've got a chunk of my avocado toast with feta. Pretty good.
Looks good.
Yeah, the avocado and the feta are absolutely great. I'd probably like my toast toasted a bit more. I like that kind of sourdough where you've got a really crunchy crust to it and kind of more fluffy in the middle.
What I do like about that is that literally every single millimetre of sourdough is covered with avocado, because quite often if I go out and have this sort of food, you get a little bit of avocado just sort of in the centre or just here, and then you've got a lot of just naked toast, and nobody wants naked toast at this time of the day.
Well, you feel cheated, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's paying for naked toast. So that's a good amount of, that looks like a full avocado to me. It looks like you've taken a whole avocado and smashed it over there, which is, that's what you want.
Right,
you can take that away. Now, I've got a little bit more thoughts on that bacon. It was a bit too thick, and it's a bit saltier than I like as well. So not my favourite bacon. And as that's sort of the hero of the dish, that's meant to be the thing that lifts it. I feel a bit disappointed with that. But let's have a go at this avocado toast. Did I order the wrong thing? Should I have gone for avocado toast? I do like avocado toast with. I can see what you're saying already. I'm pulling it. It feels like bread rather than toast. It's not cutting like it doesn't. It's not crispy. It's more bready.
Yeah, it's a chunky piece of bacon there. In fairness, for a dish like this, if you're going to go in on the whole American theme, I think the American version of bacon, where it's a bit crispy, the lighter pieces, probably goes with it a bit better. But it's generous portion of bacon. Look, it's good bacon. Yeah, they're good for pancakes. Pretty solid.
So my thoughts on this: avocado is great, really like that. The feta's quite salty, so does give it a nice contrast in terms of the flavours and all of that. The disappointment with this is the toast, which I wouldn't actually say is toast. It feels more like bread. It's got a harder outside, but I would have liked that in the toaster for at least another 30 seconds to a minute to give it the crispy lightness. Because it's bread and we've got wetness on the top of it, it's becoming a bit soggy. So you can see even when I'm cutting it, it's actually quite difficult to cut. You're sort of dragging it around, pulling it off. So Toast needed to be in the toaster a bit longer, but the avocado and the feta are good.
Yeah, I'm really liking the combination of the maple syrup and the saltiness of the bacon. But I agree with you, Joe, on the pancakes. They're a bit doughy. I prefer something a bit fluffy, a bit more fluffy. I think if you're absolutely starving, great, but you'd be pretty full if you ate all of that.
So we're going to crack on, finish the rest of this. We'll probably swap plates again in a second. We'll finish this up and we'll see you at the end for the wrap-up. The bill. So we'll just run through the bill first. So the buttermilk pancakes were €8. The avocado and sourdough was €9. The extra bacon that I had was $5. Maple syrup was $3, and the Americano that you had was $4.30. So $29.30 plus a service charge of 10% gives us a total of €32.23, which is around about £30-ish. So not super cheap. We've paid more, but it's sort of at the upper end of the market. Now, I'll tell you my thoughts on both dishes first. So, I was really excited about the pancakes. I like a bit of pancake and bacon and maple syrup. I do have that, once every 3 or 4 months, maybe for breakfast or lunch. I was a bit disappointed with both the pancakes and the bacon. Pancakes were too thick, and the bacon was too thick. Maple syrup was good. Overall, a bit too stodgy, a bit too chewy. Bit salty bacon, wasn't my thing. Your avocado with feta, I love avocado, love the feta. I just didn't like the toast. It wasn't toasty enough for me. It was too bready. Overall, I feel a bit disappointed.
That's a shame, Joe. I tend to agree in terms of the food. I wouldn't order pancakes normally. I'd need a post-lunch coma and a sleep after that. It's a big, heavy dish.
Doesn't have to be. That one was. That one was.
I thought the bacon was okay, actually. I quite like that bacon.
I saw you sneak a bit onto your avocado toast. He nicked a bit. When I wasn't looking, I thought, where's that bacon gone? It was all the way over there on his plate.
And that worked well. Actually, it was a good combo. And that's something in your build your own meal that you can do. You can add bacon on with your avocado and feta. Shame about the toast. Would have been nice if it was crispy. So on the whole, look, I think it's a nice place. It's a kind of a little oasis. It's very, very close to Grafton Street, so in the full hubbub of town centre. There aren't that many options where you can sneak off to for a relaxed coffee and a bite to eat.
Yeah, a lot of the places are quite cosy, aren't they? That's what I've found about Dublin, is that they are great and very friendly and very sort of, everyone gets involved, but you're quite compact, whereas this place is a bit more airy. It's got high ceilings, it's got big windows, there's a bit of space between the tables, so it's a nice place to come.
Yeah, it's a quick service. They have a whole load of counter food as well.
Staff are really good.
Yeah,
as always,
they
really
do
helpful.
Food right through the day, so you can come for breakfast, lunch. I'm not sure they do evening meals, but on the whole, the food's good, but it's not great. You're not going to come here and be wowed by the food.
So the key question then, what's your score?
I'm going to score it. I'm going to give it a 6 because it's a nice place to come. And look, all I had was avocado and feta on toast. It wouldn't be that difficult to get that right. Just toast it a bit more. But I think 6 is probably a fair score for the atmosphere.
Fair enough. I think for me it's a 5.5. I was sort of, I wouldn't come back.
Joe loves his half points.
I do like a half point. Just gives you that differential, doesn't it? It's just sort of a little. It makes a difference.
It makes you seem more technical. It makes it sound like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've not into quarters yet, but halves I think are.
See, I don't know that there's much difference between that gap between 5 and 6. I know what 5 is. I know what 6 is. I know you've been doing this a lot longer than me, and
he will learn. Yeah. He will learn. Grasshopper.
Do you think we'll ever get to like the 4.2 and the 3.8?
I think maybe if we go to university for a little while and study it a bit harder, we could get to that. There'd be that spectrum.
Yeah, but then we'd have to be having student food, and that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Totally different dimension.
Might be a bit old to go to university now as well, aren't we?
Never too old.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Anyway, we digress.
So, hopefully you've enjoyed watching us have a bit of brunch here in Dublin. If you have, then please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and we will see you on the next meal.